Tuscaloosa to frenzy.
And McClellan, he could go. Burst of speed. Alabama opens the Rashinda Reed era with a victory.
We talked about Alabama.
Alabama reaches the College Cup for the first time.
Heisman Memorial Trophy.
The first soccer championship in school history.
Is still Alabama.
Welcome to the Crimson Tide Production Studio inside Bryant-Denny Stadium.
He is Roger Hoover, I am Kinsey Hughes, and welcome to another episode of Tide TV This Week.
It's been a busy week here at the Capstone, Kinsey, and we start with the Crimson Tide football team.
Roger, the Tide opened SEC play this past weekend here at home as Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels came to town, and let me just be honest with you, Raj, the first half wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty, but Alabama did get on the scoreboard first in the ballgame on the opening drive with a 48-yard field goal, courtesy of Will Reichard. But the Rebels would answer back after that field goal as Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart took it in from 10 yards out to give Ole Miss a 7-3 lead.
But then the Tide special teams came in and made a huge play. Ja'Cory Brooks blocked the Ole Miss punt, and it went out of bounds at the 1. A bad snap and a couple of sacks forced the Tide to kick again, and Reichard was good for 40 yards to make it 7-6, and that would be the score at the half. Will Reichard gave the Crimson Tide the lead back in the third on this 23-yard kick to make it 9-7 Bama. On the Rebels' next drive, it was the Alabama defense's turn to make a big play. Terrion Arnold picked off the Jackson Dart pass. Then the Tide offense made him pay. Jalen Milroe connected with yet another Jalen as Milroe took a huge hit, and he delivered the pass to freshman Jalen Hale, who made an amazing catch in the end zone for the score.
With Milroe having to sit out a play, it was Ty Simpson coming in at quarterback for the two-point attempt, and he would not be denied, even with a face mask. He was able to power it into the end zone to make it a 17-7 score. Rebels added a field goal right before the end of the third, but in the fourth quarter, it was Jason McClellan punching it in from 8 yards out as the Tide rolled in the second half to give Alabama the 24-10 win.
Told the players that, we believe in our team. And it was important for them to believe in each other. But there's a responsibility that goes with that belief in terms of being accountable to do your job, play with discipline, try to play with the kind of toughness and physicality that we want to play with as a team, and eliminate, the my bads that have been really critical in us being successful. And I thought the team did a fantastic job of that in the second half. We played hard, the guys competed, played really physical, dominated the line of scrimmage. So got off the field on third down on defense and kept them off the board. So I was really proud of the way the team played in the second half. First half, we got 1st and 1 at the 1 and snap a ball before the snap count, lose a bunch of yards, take points off the board. So those are the kind of things, to me. We had another touchdown today that was called back because of a penalty. That's the 5th one this year. So, those are the kind of lessons that we want to continue to teach our team so that we can continue to improve and get better, and they can develop the kind of confidence and trust in each other and themselves so that, we can play better and we can, play better week in and week out and do it every game that we play.
What a second half by the Crimson Tide. 241 of their 356 total yards of offense came in the second half as Alabama outscored Ole Miss 18-3 in the final 2 quarters. Jalen Milroe completed 17 of his 21 passes for 225 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Jason McClellan had a game-high 105 yards rushing on 17 attempts with a score.
On the defensive side, Terrion Arnold had the big interception, and Dallas Turner had a team-high 3.5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks.
A big win for the Crimson Tide as they improved to 3-1 and 1-0 in SEC play. With the win, Alabama moves up 1 spot in both polls. Alabama is now 12th in the AP and 11th in the coaches.
And congratulations to Tyler Booker as he was named the SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week.
Alabama hits the road to Starkville this week, but next week the Crimson Tide will be on the road again, and we have a kickoff time for that matchup with Texas A&M.
And for the second time in 3 weeks, the Tide will be a part of the SEC Game of the Week on CBS. Alabama and Texas A&M will kick off at 2:30 in College Station on next Saturday.
Now let's take a look at our Crimson Tide in the NFL Players of the Week. And Kinsey, once again, we had some big-time performances from former Alabama players.
That we did. And starting off, we're taking our talents to South Beach with the Miami Dolphins, who had a historic day because Tua Tagovailoa led Miami as they set franchise records, becoming just the 4th NFL team in history to score 70 points. And the Dolphins totaled the 2nd most total yards in NFL history with 726. Tua was perfect in the first half of that win over the Denver Broncos. He was 16 of 16 for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns. In all, Tua finished 23 of 26 for 309 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Dolphins defeated the Broncos 70-20.
And on defense, rookie Brian Branch has had a stellar season to date. On Sunday, he led the Lions with 11 tackles, 2 for a loss, and 2 pass breakups in the Lions' 20-6 win over the Atlanta Falcons.
And a huge congratulations to Alabama alum DeMeco Ryans as he picked up his first NFL win as a head coach as the Texans defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-17. Roll Tide, DeMeco!
Roll Tide, and what a second half for the Crimson Tide as they rolled over the 15th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels in Bryant-Denny on Saturday. When we return, we'll take you all access for the Tide's first SEC matchup of the season.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
You've got a game plan and the right team to make it happen. Whether you're at home, taking your game on the road, need to make the right call, or the big play. Greatness starts here. Ford F-150, the best-selling full-sized pickup in Alabama. For great offers on a 2023 Ford F-150, see your local Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com today.
Cancer impacts everyone, both children and adults. The citizens of Alabama of all ages are fortunate to have outstanding cancer doctors and researchers right here in our state. They are working every day on discoveries that will lead to new treatments for patients of all ages. Experts from multiple specialties work together to game plan the best way forward for each and every patient at the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center at UAB.
As a Main Street bank, PNC has helped over 7 million kids develop their passion for learning through our Grow Up Great initiative. And now, we're providing billions of dollars for affordable home lending programs as part of $88 billion to support underserved communities, including loans for small businesses and low and moderate income areas. So everyone has a chance to move forward financially. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you.
During the pandemic, we put a lot on hold. One of the things missed may have been keeping up with our regularly scheduled vaccinations. Hi, I'm Dallas Turner.
And I'm Rodell Williams. We're here to remind everyone across the state to protect the entire Bama community by staying up to date with all recommended vaccinations.
Flu season is coming, and COVID-19 continues to affect our community. So don't wait. Vaccinate.
Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM to learn more about how you can stay safe and up to date on vaccinations for you and your children.
Stay safe and roll Tide.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. The Crimson Tide football team welcomed former offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin and the 15th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels to Bryant-Denny to open SEC play this past Saturday.
It was a fun one in T-Town as the Tide won a big second-half performance. Let's take an all-access look at the Tide's first SEC win of the season.
It feels like a huge opportunity for Ole Miss and their head coach, Lane Kiffin, to knock off the Crimson Tide.
What a chance for Alabama. You come back home, SEC opener, to go on and put on a performance. Everybody's counting Alabama out. Well, they get a chance this afternoon to show everybody they're still Alabama.
The 71st meeting between Alabama and Ole Miss is underway from Tuscaloosa. They got Roydell Williams in. He's going to block from Milroe, and Milroe inside Ole Miss territory, moving his feet, and he's down to the 40-yard line.
It is good. 48 yards for Reichert.
Darting inside the 5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Rebels.
Milroe sees a man wide open. Jalen Hale
Pressure's coming. Taking down Tim Smith.
Hey, that one is blocked. It is blocked by Alabama. Out of midair, Ja'Cory Brooks.
Kick is on its way, and it is good. Dumps it off, and he's got his tight end Dupree. And Dupree bounces off one defender. Ooh, he lost his hat. Ooh, wow.
And his helmet came down somewhere near Moundville. Kick is on the way, and it is no good. No good.
That's the end of the first half. It's Ole Miss 7, Alabama 6. It's a 1-point game. And it's still in the balance as we go into the locker room. Goes long, looking middle of the field, and he has a man. What a catch! Jermaine Burton.
So the Crimson Tide takes the lead on the foot of Riker.
And it's intercepted. Arnold's.
Looks long, has a man there. Touchdown, Alabama. Simpson keeps it himself and gets the 2-point conversion. So Alabama gets the 2 points.
And it's incomplete, nearly intercepted by McKinstry. Breaks one tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. He's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Dallas Turner chased him down.
Trey Harris was the intended receiver, but Terry Arnold was there to...
Blackshire was able to make that tackle. Pressure's coming, and he sacks. Dallas Turner darts, hit as he throws. Incomplete. Malachi Moore came blitzing in. And Milroe will take a knee. And that'll do it. 8 in a row for Alabama over Ole Miss.
On to the next, baby. On to the next, baby.
Make your routine anything but routine. Escape every day at Wind Creek Casino and WindCreekCasino.com.
During the pandemic, we put a lot on hold. One of the things Miss may have been keeping up with our regularly scheduled vaccinations. Hi, I'm Dallas Turner.
And I'm Rodell Williams. We're here to remind everyone across the state to protect the entire Bama community by staying up to date with all recommended vaccinations.
Flu season is coming, and COVID-19 continues to affect our community. So don't wait. Vaccinate.
Visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM to learn more about how you can stay safe and up to date on vaccinations for you and your children.
Stay safe and roll Tide.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. Alabama welcomed the Ole Miss Rebels to town this past Saturday. This weekend, the Tide faces off against the other team from the Magnolia State, the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
For a preview of the SEC West matchup, our Christopher England joins us now. Christopher?
Alabama hits the road this weekend for their first SEC road game of the season. The Tide makes a short trip to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Alabama's won 15 in a row over Mississippi State, and the Tide have been dominant during that streak, winning by an average margin of 33-7. Last season in Tuscaloosa, the Tide dominated the Bulldogs. Mississippi State didn't score until the final play of the game as the Tide rolled big, 30-6. This season, Mississippi State enters Week 5 2-2. The Bulldogs started the season off 2-0 with a 48-7 win over Southeastern Louisiana and a 31-24 overtime win over Arizona in Week 2.
To the end zone! Touchdown, Mississippi State!
But then Mississippi State ran into a buzzsaw in 14th-ranked LSU in Week 3 as the Tigers blew out the Bulldogs 41-14. Last week, State lost a thriller to South Carolina in Columbia, 37-30.
Pushes to the goal line. Touchdown!
Will Rogers returns for his senior season at quarterback to lead the Mississippi State offense. Rogers completed just 11 of 28 passes for 103 yards in the Week 3 loss to LSU, but bounced back this past week with the best passing game of his career against South Carolina. Rogers threw for a career-high 487 yards, the most passing yards by an SEC quarterback this season, and the second most this year in FBS. On the receiving end of 256 of those yards was wideout Tulu Griffin. Griffin set a Mississippi State single-game record with those 256 yards receiving. That's also the best in the SEC this season, and he did it all on just 7 catches, averaging a ridiculous 36.5 yards per reception. The Bulldogs have also been successful on the ground. Running back Joquavius Marks ranked second in the SEC in rushing yards with 352, averaging 88 per game. Marks is also tied for second in the conference with 4 rushing touchdowns. Defensively, the Bulldogs are next to last in the SEC in scoring defense and total defense. Mississippi State is allowing over 27 points per game and over 400 yards per game to their 4 opponents so far this season. However, the leader on the Mississippi State defense is one of the best linebackers in the league. Jet Johnson is in his 6th year as a Bulldog and leads the Southeastern Conference with 45 tackles. One key for the game in Saturday night's matchup will be turnovers. The Bulldogs lead the SEC in turnover margin at +4 as they've taken 7 away on the year, recovering 3 fumbles with 4 interceptions.
You know, this is the first SEC road game, and this is actually a bigger challenge for us than the last 2 games, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, this team is very, physical, very aggressive on defense, create a lot of negative plays. They got a lot of starters back. They know their system, they know their scheme, they play very, very well.
It's going to be a late one in Starkville as the Tide and Bulldogs are scheduled to kick off at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Stay with us. We'll have more Tide TV This Week coming up next.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. I'm Kinsey Hughes, he is Roger Hoover, and this is the Crimson Tide production studio.
The Alabama soccer team took their first loss of the season this past Thursday night as the Tide fell to the Arkansas Razorbacks 5-0. But Alabama looked to get back in the win column on Sunday against Vanderbilt.
The way Alabama had been playing defense before that Arkansas matchup, you know they wouldn't need many goals. In their previous 10 matchups, the Tide had only allowed 5 goals in 10 matches.
And the only one they would need came with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. Sydney Yapich had the ball and she crossed it to Kate Henderson. She delivered just behind Vanderbilt's back line and Mariana Annis did the rest. Annis kicked it into the net for the game-winning goal. Alabama improved to 7-1 with 4 ties with the 1-0 win.
The Alabama volleyball team dropped their first SEC match of the season last Friday against the Ole Miss Rebels in Oxford. Alabama held a 17-16 lead in the first set, but the Rebels battled back to take the match, winning all 3 sets.
The Tide traveled from Oxford to Starkville to take on the Mississippi State Bulldogs on Sunday. Alabama had 10 service errors coupled with a season-low 3 aces. That led to the Bulldogs winning the match 3-0.
Volleyball returns to action this Sunday at Foster Auditorium as the Tide hosts the 22nd-ranked Kentucky Wildcats.
Fresh off the SEC Big Ten Challenge, the Alabama men's tennis team took part in the SEC Big 12 Challenge this past weekend.
Roan Jones and Mateus Ponce de Leon finished undefeated in doubles, winning all 3 matches, while the duo of Enzo Aguilar and Zach Foster won 2 of 3. Jones and Ponce de Leon also won 2 of their 3 singles matches over the 3-day competition. The men return to action this weekend as they host the 4 in the Fall tournament.
The Alabama women's golf team competed in the annual Mason Rudolph Championship this past weekend, finishing in 12th place with a team total of 7 over par, 871. Sarah Edwards led the Tide, tying for 12th place with a 3-day score of 5 under par, 211.
The Alabama men's golf team took part in the SEC East versus West at the Old Overton Golf Club in Vestavia Hills this week. Nick Dunlap won the individual stroke play title by sinking a birdie on the final hole of SEC match play.
As a team, the Crimson Tide finished stroke play in 8th place with a 9 under par score of 843. 13th ranked Alabama finished match play on Wednesday with a 3-2 victory over the 8th ranked Florida Gators. A lot of sports in action, Kinsey, and on Monday, several more began their first practice of the fall.
For more of those teams getting ready for the upcoming season, our Delaney Jones joins us now. Delaney?
Thanks, Kenzie. Several winter sports are starting up on campus this week. Men's and women's basketball had their first official practice of the season on Tuesday, and new baseball head coach Rob Vaughn began his first week of practice with the Tide. Men's and women's basketball will open their seasons at home in a doubleheader on November 6th. The women will play their first game against Alabama State, and the men will play Morehead State right after. Women's basketball returns 5 of their players from last year's roster and has picked up 3 transfers and 3 true freshmen. Men's basketball returns 6 players from last year's roster and picked up 4 transfers and 5 true freshmen. Baseball had 3 scrimmages in their first week of fall ball after practice was cut short on Monday due to rain. Alabama will play 2 fall ball exhibition matches, taking on Auburn October 13th and Florida State on October 28th.
Thanks, Delaney. Speaking of the Alabama baseball team, congratulations are in order for Associate Head Coach Jason Jackson as he was honored by the American Baseball Coaches Association on Wednesday as the Marines National Assistant Coach of the Year.
JJ helped lead Alabama to one of the best finishes in Crimson Tide baseball history as interim head coach and helped the pitching staff tie a program record 593 strikeouts as head pitching coach.
Jason Jackson is the pitching coach for the Crimson Tide.
I mean, you guys are a really good team. All you gotta do is listen to what he talks about his kids. The one thing that oozes out of him is authenticity and realness and love for his players. And to me, that shows.
Congrats once again to Coach Jason Jackson. Stick with us. We'll have more Tide TV coming up next.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, visit your local Ford dealer, proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
44 yards for the punch. Hey, that one is blocked. It is blocked by Alabama. Ja'Cory Brooks, play action. Milroe looks long, has a man there. Touchdown, Alabama! To the near side, and Simpson keeps it himself and gets the 2-point conversion. Here's Dart, stands in. He throws one long into traffic. Intercepted by Alabama. Intercepted by the Crimson Tide's Terrion Arnold. Hands to Jace. Jace stumbles. He's on his feet. Retains his balance. Carries it in. Touchdown, Alabama.
Back to Yapich. Left-footed strike just past Henderson. Here's Alabama taking the lead. The Crimson Tide strike first against Vanderbilt, and it's Mariana Ennis.
Those are our plays of the week, brought to you by Legacy of Hope.
Now let's take a look at our players of the week. Starting off with Mariana Ennis, as she had the game-winning goal for the Crimson Tide in their 1-0 win over Vanderbilt on Saturday. Wes Hart's crew is really rolling.
They really are. Great goal by Mariana Ennis, and for the Crimson Tide football team, it was Dallas Turner leading the way as he would collect sack after sack against Ole Miss. A fine performance, getting to the quarterback, getting a few tackles for a loss as well, and he would be named the Bednarik Player of the Week for his fine play against the Rebels.
And Terrion Arnold had a point to prove with a game-high 8 tackles, including 6 solo to go along with 2 pass breakups and his first interception of the year.
I'm not going to sing, but men's golfer Nick Dunlap won the SEC Match Play individual stroke play title with a 15 under par 198. That also earned Dunlap SEC Men's Golfer of the Week honors. Congratulations to our Players of the Week.
Congratulations to our Players of the Week. It was a big week for Alabama athletics, and we hope you enjoyed it as we look forward to seeing you back here again next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,